Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well. So as discussed in the previous video, today I'm going to be removing the diff because we took the prop off. Well, firstly there was a rumbling noise on the diff and we didn't know it was the diff. We thought it was a prop shaft universals, but it wasn't that. We took the prop shaft off and while it was laying at the shop that was gonna change the universals for us, I drained the oil just to see the condition of the diff, because if there was any filings in the diff, then I knew that the diff's gears gave up the ghost. And good enough, as soon as I drained the oil, there was a lot of filings in it, as well as chunks of the gears in the diff. So that's how we definitely knew that the diff was the problem, because the guy at the prop shop place, he even told us that even though the universals on the prop shaft are a bit stiff, it's not that bad that it will give the noise that it gave. I will attach a video of the sound that it made, so that you guys with the Miatas can know once your car makes that sound that it's the diff for sure. So I'm gonna start with removing the diff now by checking the car up first, and then I'll show you guys step by step processes of what it takes to get the diff out of the Miata. From the videos I saw on YouTube, it's actually not that much work, and you don't have to remove your back wheels and the drive shafts. You can actually leave that in. Well, I'm not sure of the drive shafts. I think we can leave that in actually, but I'll show you guys a video of how I'm gonna be removing mine. Guys, please take note, the bricks are just here because I don't have any stands to use, so it's a case of emergency. But if you can, do invest in a pair of jack stands. Okay, so this is the diff of the Miata MX-5 NA. So what you want to loosen first will be the prop shaft. But as you can see, in my case the prop shaft was already removed. Then you have this bolt over here that holds the top of the diff. So it's that one over there and the one on this side. Then you have these two over here. These are the bolts that go all the way through this bracket. The one bolt you can see on that side there, and the other one is inside this casing. At the top I think are two bolts, sorry, not two bolts, two nuts, where these bolts screw into. And then you have these flanges over here. These are for the drive shafts, and this is actually very handy because with these on, it means you don't have to take the drive shaft out of the gearbox, out of the diff. You just loosen these nuts that's on here, and that pulls aside. Same on the other side, it's got a bolt and nut that pulls aside that way. Then once you have all your other bolts loose, the diff simply just drops out. So I've loosened the driver's side flange on the diff, and as you can see, once all the nuts are off, the shaft simply just slides off there. Okay, maybe not so simply, but either way it's loose, and that's all that matters. So now we do the other side. Okay, so all those 14mm nuts are loose now. This flange is also loose, and it's ready to just be pulled away when the diff comes out. So now we are going to loosen the diff carrier up here and the one on that side. So apart from the nut that you have to loosen inside here, There's also these two 8mm that hold the whole bracket with the rubber for the diff in place. So I'm gonna loosen those and then loosen that, and then we'll move on to these ones over here, and after that the diff should be ready to come out then. Okay, so what I did now was I just positioned the jack under the diff so that it can somewhat hold the diff in place while I loosen the rest of the bolts and nuts. So the next two that I'm going to loosen will be those two over there with the two nuts on top. Okay, so this is the long ass bolt that came out of there, and this is the nut that was on top. So as you can see, there's splines all the way around the bottom of this nut, and that splines are press fit, well not press fit, but they slide in on top of this bracket, and the bolt then screws in there. So what I did was I loosened it, and once it was loose I screwed it in again. And then I took a hammer and I just knocked the bottom of the bolt with a 17mm socket over there so that you don't damage the bolt head itself. And that came out the top there. So that is the nut. You don't use a spanner to loosen it. You just simply screw your bolt in there and you knock it up from the bottom. Okay, so now we gotta do the same with the other one. Okay, so a key thing when stripping something is to, if there's a difference in the bolt or nut size, it's important to remember which one goes where. So as you can see, this bolt over here has a thick body that goes into a thin one, but not to worry on this application because this bolt only goes in the one. See, it won't go through there, so it has to go through there. Okay, so I've gotten what I think is all the bolts and the nuts that needs to come out for the diff to be removed. So I'm gonna loosen my 8mm that's on that plate there, same on the other side, and then see if I can drop the diff out. Hopefully there's no hindrances. Maybe the exhaust might need to be loosened, but we'll see. So turns out there was another bushing inside this bracket here that had to be removed, as I did now, because that also holds the diff in place to prevent any back and forward movement. Okay, so I reckon now everything is out, so I'm gonna try and drop the box. I'm in the diff. Oopsie, say hello to the people. Say hello. Give them a kiss. Duff is out. It's quite a hectic looking Duff. It looked like a drone, like this thing can take off and fly if it wants to. So yeah, there we go guys. Miata MX-5 in a Duff removal, one-man job. All you need is the right tools and this video to show you how. So yeah, there we go. So now I've got to strip this off. Start by loosening that nut over there. Strip this off and then clean the insides, but that will probably be in the next video. Yeah, so there we go. As you guys can see, it is a one-man job, nothing too difficult for those of you who have the tools. If you don't have the tools, it will be a little bit more difficult, but yeah. So that's it for this video guys. Once again, I thank you for staying to the end, for those who did stay to the end. And from working on the Miata, as far as we did now, suspension wise and Duff wise, the Miata is actually a fairly easy car to work on. Even if you're on your own, like you can see, I took that Duff out on my own. So it's a simple car to work on. I would say they put the car together with the intent of making it easier for someone to take it apart again, if I can put it that way. Unlike most German engineering, and for those mechanics out there, you would know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's it for this video guys. I will see you guys again in the next one. Roxy, say bye to the people. Say bye. Roxy, say bye. Rite, yeah, yeah. There we go. Say bye.